Hey everybody, Eric here. Today I'm going to start a 16 city region in SimCity 2013. We're going to go through a bunch of strategies that I use to build out from scratch. Figure out how to plan it, how to figure out what specialties you want in each city. Of course, the first step is to choose a region. I usually go with the bigger ones because I like to build stuff out, really big. Go big or go home. So I'm going to go with Viridian Woods, 16 cities, 4 spots for great works. That obviously won't happen for a while, but this is a good place to start. So let's choose that. Let's say SimCity Tut. And I don't want sandbox mode. That just seems like cheating. I mean, come on, people. Let's do it the right way. And I gotta choose my first city here. All right. So what I'm looking for right off the bat is something where I can start some industry, just get some low wealth sims in there to start getting to work. So I really want some coal and ore available in the city. There's a bunch of those in SimCity 5, but let's see. I got some good water here too. So let's start here at Toscan Cliffs. So I'm going to claim that as the first city. Now, strategy when you're starting from scratch, first city is to work up to about 5,000, not about 5,000 sims, but work up to 5,000 sims, and then upgrade your city hall with a finance division. That way you can immediately start using loans up to 100,000 simoleons at a time. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit just so you can see me start the first city. And when some key points come up, I'll slow it down and kind of explain what I'm doing. Okay, so that didn't take long, right? So the first thing I'm doing is taking a look at where the ore and the coal is, so I can kind of plan out what areas of the map I want to focus my industry on. So obviously my coal areas is going to be around this kind of dark gray, all this type of stuff. That's going to be really valuable land, and I might set up an ore mine over here and maybe one here just to, maybe even one here, just to take advantage of that resource as well. So that's really going to help bring in the simoleons early. But first, let's build out some residential. One quick note, always check your wind map too, especially if you're going to build a city based on industry. This is perfect because the wind is going away from the entrance of the map, so you can build all of your residential close to the front and build out all your industrial, kind of dirty industry stuff towards the back. You never want the wind to be going towards your residents in an industrial city for obvious reasons. They're just going to get sick and they're going to start dying. You don't want that. So, yeah, let's go. Okay, observation number 1. Obviously, your citizens need power, so let's go ahead and build our power plant. Because this is an industrial city and we have plenty of coal available to us, we're going to build a coal power plant. Let's see, how do I want to do this? So, again, let's take a look at our resource map. And what I'll do is kind of build my dirty power plant kind of in this back corner here. So let's build a road out there. The reason I want to bring it out to the back, again, is because of that wind. It keeps all the pollution going in the opposite direction, just so people aren't getting sick all the time. So I'm going to plop this guy right down here. When you plop down a coal power plant for the first time, it always has a pretty hefty amount of coal available to it, so you don't have to import any coal immediately or mine it just to be able to power the power the city right off the bat. So that's a good feature. Kind of saves you a little bit of money. But in the meantime, what we're going to do is kind of cordon off these resources, this land that contains all the resources. So I really want to bring everything in this area that I'm circling here into the industry of the city. So I'm going to cordon that off now, and we'll plan on taking advantage of it shortly. Before I do that, let's just add a basic water tower just to get these people some water so they're not dying. Oh, no more simoleons. Okay, so I've already spent a lot of money, so let's go ahead and just give me 25 G's so I can get some water to these people. Oh yeah. Quick tip. You don't want to have too many intersections going down your main avenues. So a really nice feature is being able to immediately build little bridges. Now to build a bridge, you just build your road and hit M to raise the road. Now the opposite, if you need to build down for some reason, that would be the letter N. So M to build bridges. That helps with traffic flow, especially for those Sims who just need to get to work in their own city instead of find a way to the exit. Okay, so you might notice that low wealth residential desire went down and medium went up. So immediately when that happens in a brand new city, I like to put some type of sports complex, or at least start building out a sports complex, because that raises land value and attracts medium wealth Sims. So that's kind of the idea there. Always pay attention, especially early on, to this residential, commercial, industrial demand chart. Surprisingly, it's kind of forcing me to put in some commercial and residential, not so much industrial. Surprisingly, even though I really wanted this to be an industrial city, one way to curb that is to update tax brackets. So to do that, you just go here. Unfortunately, I don't have that ability yet to do it for each type of industry. So we're going to wait until we get to that 5,000 residents so that we can upgrade our city hall and put in that finance division, at which point you'll be able to easily change taxes for the different areas of the city. Let's start thinking about education. So educated Sims cause less problems in the city. Now, a problem that you might encounter very early on in building is fires. Now, the more educated your Sims are, the less house fires and business fires you're going to have. So let's just get started with some basic education for my Sims. We'll put in a grade school. Really, that just kind of gets the ball rolling, attracts more residents, that have kids that they're going to be sending to grade school. So we're going to start with the grade school, and hopefully people will learn not to start fires in their houses. Now, there's a misconception that the way to really build up a quick population is to build out. Now, my strategy has always been to force the Sims to start building up. Now, the one way to do that is to just increase your land value, but also something that's almost just as important is making sure that your roads can accommodate all of the residents that are going to be living on these roads. So obviously these dirt roads, these really basic low density dirt roads aren't going to do the job if you're going to be building apartment buildings. So what I'm going to do is just spend a little bit of time upgrading all these roads. I'm going to get them all the way up to high density streets so that if they really want to, they can start building apartment buildings and building up instead of out. That way I can focus on utilizing the rest of the land on the map to focus on other things like industry or mines, etc., etc. So that's my strategy, at least for this first city, is to force these residents to start building up. Another thing of note, especially when it comes to commercial properties, is the Sims need a place to go, to shop, to get whatever they need to live. One issue with SimCity is the traffic flow. So even though you have this whole area available for commercial, I really like to keep my commercial on my main avenues, just so people aren't forced to have to drive around into some other area to go to a commercial area. I really plan out putting commercial on just one side, especially where most of the traffic is going to flow. So again, I could make this whole area commercial, but then there's the risk of having some commercial buildings on this side that forces Sims to have to drive to. So I'm just going to be putting it on this side, on the avenue side, to keep traffic flow to these commercial properties on one road. Again, this really helps with traffic flow, especially as the population starts to grow. So again, here's the issue with uneducated Sims, is you start getting fires that spread pretty quickly between properties. Early on, especially if you don't have enough money to build a fire station, that's all right, but something to keep an eye on moving forward. So one thing that you could do is start a city nearby and start sharing resources. So I could build a fire station in the city next door, and send a fire truck over to Industry City just to take care of the issue. But I'm just going to skip that for now, just so we can focus on this one property. Same goes for trash. Obviously Sims are going to get sick if there's no place to put their trash, so that may be something I'm going to start real quick right now, just to allow them to put their dirty stuff somewhere. So I'm going to go ahead, take out my last loan, and plop a garbage dump. Why is there so much trash at City Hall? Wow. That's a dirty place. Politics, Okay, so power plant doesn't have any coal, or I shouldn't say doesn't have any coal, but it's getting low on coal. We don't have any local coal mines yet, so what we need to do is turn on the global deliveries of coal. So basically what that means is you don't have to import it, it just brings it in automatically. Unfortunately, that's going to cost you a pretty penny. I think it's $6,000, so that's going to kind of hurt my budget a little bit. but I can offset that with building up some more commercial, residential, and industrial areas just to kind of bring in some more taxes. So if you saw there, my total simoleons went down 6 grand. Yep, there it goes, because I needed that coal for the power plant to go. So something you gotta do. Let's see. Got some challenges here. Obviously the budget's a little bit low, where we're not bringing in a ton every hour. So what I'm going to do is build out a little bit more industrial, try and gain some money that way. Even though the industrial demand was very low, those are cash cows, especially if you need to bring in money for your city. So whenever you're kind of struggling, kind of on that cusp of being in the negative in a bad way, you want to make sure that you just build out some more industrial buildings so that the taxes from those businesses can come into the city, help you out a little bit. So you'll see that my monthly, I should say hourly deficit went way down with those new industrial buildings. Another thing that industrial buildings will help with is forcing your Sims to think outside of just spreading out. This is where these apartment buildings that hopefully start building up soon really help with, focusing the city a little bit more on industry. So probably start complaining pretty soon about the school being too small. As you'll see, I guess it went away, but yesterday all of the classrooms were filled. So I had 150 out of 150 Sims in the classrooms. What they're going to want to do, especially in order to start thinking about expanding and building up, is get some more classrooms so that more people are attracted to the city, so you can start building up rather than out. Get your chicken wings. Abacus repair, nice. I guess Sims use abacuses. If you get a chance, get some time, it's always fun to kind of take a look at some of the details that the developers put into the properties. It's actually kind of funny sometimes, especially as the city starts getting bigger. Alright, so one of our loans is getting close, about 10 grand left. Once that's paid off, obviously our monthly, our daily budget will recover a little bit. Right now we're a little bit low, so we're just going to let it run so that we have some extra money to upgrade various places of the city. This dude. What the? Oh, that was weird. Typical game issues.